alive or an animal who's passed. So sometimes that's a little bit of a different feeling, but most of the time, what I do is called direct mediumship. So there's throw it out, which is, I have a man here, he's 75, he has gray hair, he fell off the building, right? Direct is where you say, I want to talk to my dad, and then I go see if I can get that person. So I normally do direct, and it's just efficient. And I don't want to call myself lazy, but it's efficient. We'll just go with that. I don't get a lot of names. I don't really think names are that important, because if you have mannerisms and you have personality traits and you have this and that, you know who I'm talking about and you know their name, right? But evidence is super important. Anybody, if you've ever been to a medium who hasn't given evidence, you probably know what I'm talking about. Oh, they love you. Well, of course they do. Everyone on the other side loves us. Everyone. Yes, I'm a little bit nervous. But that's why names aren't necessarily important, right? Unless you're doing like forensic mediumship, and then names are important because somebody killed somebody, right? And we want to know who. So that's the difference between throw it out and dial it up. Sometimes when I do dial it up, I don't get the person. So last weekend, I tried to bring through this gal's mom twice. Her name is Alice, and twice I did not bring her through. I brought someone through for the crowd, but it wasn't Alice. So Alice was like, psych. So feeding the medium is basically when you give them a little bit too much information. For example, if I do say dial it up and you say, I want to talk to my mom who died in Alaska on a cruise ship on January 25th with red hair. She was drunk. That's feeding the medium, right? Because then I'm going to come back and go, so your mom's a drinker. Are there fake psychics and mediums? There are. There really are, unfortunately, right? But plus, there's just different ways of being trained. So just because somebody's trained differently and brings through information differently doesn't necessarily mean they're fake. It just might mean that they were trained by someone else. You know, that there's old-fashioned kind of mediumship things, you know, like the throwing out the, oh, you have a J or an M name. It turns out J and M names are like super common for almost everyone, right? I'm Mariana. I have a ton of J names in my family. And this can be considered phishing, but it doesn't mean that you're never going to get questions, if that makes sense. It can also just be under development and or different ways of working. And then expect a message. So if you go to pay someone for mediumship, you should always expect, in my opinion, the way I was trained, you should always expect some sort of a message that pertains to your life now, if that makes sense. Do I have any questions before we start bringing people through? Process? No? Everybody's? You guys are intimidating? No. All right, well, who would like me now? Just keep it in mind, I can always fail. So we're just gonna put that right out there, right? If I fail, I fail. It's part of the gig. Who would like to talk to someone? And what name would you like to talk to? Name?
Dad.
Your dad. All right. So the person that's coming through is never thought that he would ever specifically be talking to a medium, certainly not in a room, in a hotel, where nefarious things can happen. He's very funny. His humor is very educated. Would you understand that?
Yeah.
Like his puns would have been like other people who weren't quite as quick on the uptake. They would have been like, I have no idea what he just said.
Right.
Or he would have said no pun intended, and someone's like, shit, that was a joke. I do get someone who considered himself quite handsome. He was put together. I do feel that he took respect in the way that he dressed, and he expected the same. I do feel like you have siblings. Would you understand that as well?
Yes.
He always said he didn't have a favorite, but you damn well know he did.
Yeah.
I do feel like, so he does bring up mom, but I'm not sure if he's bringing her up because she's also over there. No, but health then, is this, okay. Because he does bring her up. I do feel like this was, like they were always married. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so like some people have, you know, multiple spouses. That was not this case. I do feel, I feel educated, like I'm sitting up straight, right? Okay, does this make sense for him?
Yes. Yeah.
Again with the handsome, I already said that, sir.
Well, yeah, he took a lot of pride in that he was very handsome.
Okay, yeah. And not in the flirty, I go sleep with women way, but just in the I take care of myself way, and I pass my genetics along. Look at my beautiful children. that kind of a way, right? I do feel church. Yes.
He was not connected to a church. He was very spiritual.
Okay.
But wasn't connected to a church.
Okay, so I will, because I just feel like I'm in that vibe, right? But I feel surprised that I'm talking to you through me.
Yeah. Well, so I've been dreaming about him a lot. He's passed 7 years ago, but it's just been so intense, their dreams lately, and I
got you. A lot. All right, so one of the reasons I went ahead and let her talk a little bit was because we already have placed this person, right? I've already given you very specific information. So it's okay to get a little feedback, right, here and there. But I just feel like he wouldn't, even though you called him spiritual, I feel like he would be surprised that this is real.
Yes.
Okay.
He had vivid dreams, which would cause him to drive from home to my house. And
to check on you?
Just to check on me.
Wow, okay.
Or he would see somebody in a coffin, so he had the intuition.
Got you.
But I still think he was like, I don't think so.
Yeah, just enough that, yes, absolutely, okay. So you would understand that you have children, and I wanna say 3.
Well, I could have had 3.
Okay, that does happen, yeah. That happens. And so sometimes I feel that and sometimes I don't. So his message kind of is pertaining to your children right now, if you will understand this, because I feel some angst and some chaos around at least one relationship with a child. Do you understand this? Yeah. And he wants to say one of those, and he did have some pretty good one-liners. Right? Yeah. So this too shall pass is kind of the one-liner he's kind of wanting to throw out, but he also understands that this is deeply affecting you in ways where you're not sleeping well and you're actually having palpitations and you're actually, he says, have a glass of wine, ma'am.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
I'll do that.
I do feel like he knew how to relax, right? Like I don't know if he's actually meditating, but I feel him like almost in this isn't meditation, but I think it's just being able to be relaxed. Not a lot of us do that, right? He could sit there and just kind of be content in the space that he was in for a while. And so I think that's kind of his message, is that this will pass. And for you to be wrapped up in it, and for you to have that knot in the pit of your stomach, it isn't doing you any good. Because it isn't going to change anything right now, if that makes sense to you. First one out of the way.
Thank you.
You are welcome. So if and when you get messages, they kind of, I get really good messages, so. But they should be similar to that. It should pertain to your life right now because they can see it, right? And that just kind of proves, I don't know, life after this, if you will, that we're just energy. I had a fancy teacher who's, so I went to the James Van Prague thing, right? So we're not best friends, I'm not trying to name drop. However, I'm at the graduation and he says, if we get hit by a bomb right now, my body would be gone, but I would still be sitting in the chair. And it just really made an impact on me because I had never thought about it that way, at all. So he is also bringing up just really fast because he's like, wait, I have a PS, I have a caveat. He's using all these big words. Well, PS isn't big, but you get my point. It's something about flowers, and I don't know if you are a gardener or if you. Do you garden?
I do, yeah.
Okay, that's your Zen.
Okay, yeah.
So whatever the fuck this is. Or you know what that is. That's your go-to place.
Yeah, it's definitely my Zen.
Yeah, he's with you there.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
That's great.
All right,
Thank
we're
you.
all warmed up.
Do you see, when you do your readings, do you see images? Do you hear?
So I get a little bit of everything, and I think it's because I'm so ADHD that I decided to just make this my own damn thing because, everybody was nickel and diming me for all these classes.
Oh.
There's mediumship, and then there's psychic, and then there's animal communication, and then there's this, and then there's that. And I'm a tight ass, right? And I'm like, there's gotta be a better way to do this, right? So what I did was, first of all, I always say, I didn't invent any of this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing on the shoulders of a lot of great people, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, everybody, every teacher, every person puts their own unique twist on it. And so my unique twist was, I won't talk to whatever, because I don't need any darks, right? I don't need the dark side. I don't play in the dark. None of that. But if it's your mom, your cat, your flowers, your dad, I'm down with that, right?
Yeah.
As long as your dad wasn't like a serial killer, and yours wasn't. And I suppose a dad's a dad, huh? I guess somebody has to talk to BTK's daughter someday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a weird thought.
Mm-hmm.
I had not thought of that. I was really bringing it out to class, or not to class, of whatever this is. So I see, so what do I see? So when I see your dad, I know. I don't know how to explain that. And most people have all the fancy words, clear seeing, clear knowing, clear hearing, blah, blah, blah. I just know, if that makes sense. And I don't know all the fancy words. I've been doing this for 6 years. I still can't tell you what claircognizance would, I can't tell you which one is which, right?
Yeah.
But I can tell you what I see or I feel. And sometimes it comes out of my mouth and I'm as surprised as you are.
Okay.
And so those are always interesting reads. Yeah. I told someone earlier, she's not dead yet, and having sex is a human need. So we should probably all remember that, right?
Yes.
From the chick who doesn't have any. So anyway, that was TMI.
A name?
Name or a relationship?
Rocky.
Rocky. So I get someone who is not Rocky. So when you hear the name Rocky, I feel like I should look for this big dude, but what I feel is a more intellectual type person who I'm not sure what this feeling is. Would you understand that he was a bit of an activist? Does this make sense for you? Like, I feel him having conversations about like the earth and the water and the ground and like climate change and like political but not political. Does that make sense for us?
Slightly.
Slightly? Okay. I do feel like he's tall. When I say tall, I want to say 6 foot, 6'1"ish. Would you understand that about this person? Okay. Okay, that's okay, because what happens sometimes, right, is that the person coming through might be for someone else. This guy would have been an activist-ish, right? He would talk politics, listen to NPR. He's about 6 foot, 6'1". He has dark hair. He's also handsome. I want to say he drives like a car that like gets stupid good gas mileage. So what are those, like hybrids? Does anyone know this person? I'll be so sad if nobody knows this person.
Yeah.
Nobody? Dang. I forget you're holding camera. I didn't even you don't know this person either? Okay. And that is failure. So sometimes it's just that they'll come in for their moment in the sun, and it's kind of ironic because last weekend I had this same guy too. And so he might just, one of these weekends, somebody's going to be hanging out for this guy because he drives like a Tesla. I think it's literally the same dude. And he was someone's husband and doesn't match anybody. Okay, so let's try for Rocky. Again, try again. All right, so now I get a totally different person. But I still don't get like this. Does that make sense?
Correct.
That part makes sense, okay. I do still also get smart, and I do also get concerned about like kind of the way things are going politically. I still get a little bit of that. Does that make sense? Okay. And then I also do get, he either did stuff with his hands or he enjoyed working with his hands. Do you understand? I want to say blue collar, like, I don't want to say mechanic, but I do want to say he worked with his hands. Do you understand this?
No.
Somewhat?
Unless you're looking at a bartender.
Oh, well, yes, he worked with his hands. Are you kidding me? Let's get this bitch drunk.
Not very good.
Yeah, hell yeah. I used to be a bar. Okay, yes, yeah, 100% with my hands. Yes, all over the place. Yes, going back and forth. Okay, Awesome. Whew. All right. So now as he comes through a little bit more, I get that sense of humor that I just threw out. Does that make sense? Like, let's do this, let's do that. I do get a punchy sense of humor. Do you understand that? Okay. She's so knockabout.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I only knew the guy for one night, but his face is fine. So I do get that kind of a relationship. I don't feel like it was your brother. I don't feel like it was your uncle. I don't feel like it was your dad. I feel like this was either a friend or someone that, you know, it kind of I feel like it was a relationship, but then I feel like it, not marriage. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I
She's
can
over
commit
here.
to that.
Finally, I'm like, do you know him? Okay, so back with the humor. I feel like this is a funny guy. Maybe you just didn't appreciate him enough. This is him being an ass. I do feel like his love language actually would have been sarcasm. Do you understand that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Maybe not
no.
yours. He's like, she didn't know me.
I totally did, I swear.
I'm teasing. I do feel like this was about, I want to say this was within the realm of like a 5-year, like I feel like it built up to the relationship area. Does this make sense? And I do feel
5
like
is exactly right.
5 is exactly, fucking finally. Woo! You have no idea. Okay. I do feel good looking. I feel good looking. I feel pretty like, you know what I mean? Like if I was in his body, I feel pretty good looking, if that makes sense. I don't feel fat. I don't feel like broken. I feel like I could go out and hike. I could go out and get some stuff done. Is this a skater thing or is this a, so do you understand him to have done like those kind of activities? Because I feel kind of a hiking vibe. I feel kind of a skater vibe. Does this make sense for him?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. All right. That's all right. Because I'm like, and then interestingly, I don't feel you guys living together. Would you understand that?
No, we live.
Damn it. Okay. Because I feel like there's such an eclectic house that he lives in that it doesn't look lived in, if that makes sense. Like I feel like blankies on the window, and I feel like it's just not. It's not like a house for like a 60-year-old couple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's more like the 20-year-old vibe. Does this
Yep.
make? Oh, it is makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No
Yeah, it was
worries.
great.
Yeah. So there you go. I'm glad we got him. I feel bad for the guy with the Tesla. But,
Yes.
so let me get you a message. Oh, so the way he passed is still. Is there some pretty? I almost want to say like. So this is how it feels. It feels a little PTSD how he passed. Does this make sense to you? Like it was quick and traumatic.
Yeah.
Okay, and that like you think about that part more than you think sometimes about the good memories.
No.
Okay, that's okay. Because I'm trying to understand the way he's bringing it through, because I feel like he feels like the rug was also pulled out from under him as well as from you, right? And
Yeah.
that there were certain plans, and that even though I don't feel a ton of commitment with this guy, but I do feel certain plans. She smiled. I do feel there were plans. There were some hardcore plans where either where we were going or what we were going to do, and then I do feel like he's asking you to still do those things. Do you understand what I would be referring to? I feel like it's a trip, kind of like one of those things where you like, we're going to do this someday. Does this make sense?
Not yet, but maybe later.
Okay. Yeah, and sometimes it's a really good point, because sometimes when you're in this situation, it'll come to you later. I don't want to go out on a limb and totally bomb, but I feel like this is one of those like trips of a lifetime, but you're walking, like you're hiking, you're doing this like really physical type of a vacation.
Okay.
So yeah, let me know. Maybe he's trying to tell you to
Get
where to
off
go.
my ass.
Yeah. Get out there, girl. Go do your stuff. All right. Everyone, I just want you to know that working with your hands is bartending. And there you go.
Okay.
You're welcome. Ma'am?
Chucho.
With a J-O-J-O?
CHUCHO.
Choo. All right. Let's try. Again with the laughter. I think that I just attract people that want to come through that love to laugh. I get a lot of laughter with this person. I do get that he passed older. I do want to say this, I'm hesitating because I feel like it's definitely a strong male vibe, and so I kind of want to say that it's a husband, but I kind of want to say that it's a dad. Do you understand this? No. So it's neither one. So it's a strong, really kind of macho vibe. Is this a male? It is a male. Was this kind of a macho guy? When I say macho, you know, like, you know what macho.
That's my cat.
That's your cat? Way to set me up. I'm glad this is only on my phone. I get this macho. Is he a male cat? Okay. Is he a bully?
He was.
He was. A male bully. We will call him a cis male. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. Okay, so this was a cat. You guys got to give me a heads up because those are two different vibes. All right. All right, so I'm still getting the macho. I'm still getting the bully. I am also getting that he was quite big, right? You would understand that. And then I also do get like just so. He's like two different cats almost. Like he's over here being a bully, making sure he gets all the food, but then he's over here snuggled up with you like a mama's boy. Does this make sense for you? Okay. I also feel like he would eat almost anything. So there's cat food, there's table scraps, there's in the trash. Does you understand this about the cat? Like he would eat, you didn't, okay, that's okay. Because I just feel like food was incredibly important and he would eat like basically whatever you would give him. You understand that part? Okay, that was the same thing. No, I'm just kidding. Do you have, so I want to say that I kind of feel like you don't have any animals right now. Do you understand that? Or you do have? You do have? Because I feel like he's saying, like, you don't have the same kind of connection with any of these animals that you had with this cat. Do you understand that? You don't. You have a good connection with these animals as well. Because this cat was like, I was the best. He comes through as just like, I'm the best, I'm the coolest, I'm the biggest, I'm the best, right? And then he's again over here like all perked up in your arm, like, you know, and purring, right? So a little mama's boy, but over here, he's like, I'm the best. None of these animals that you have right now are as good as I am. Does this make sense? Okay, okay. So sometimes it's just the way you word it too, right? Because he is coming through very, again, with the, you know, just kind of, I'm just a cool dude. Do you have any questions for him? So cats are a little different, like animals are a little different. They don't necessarily give us messages like humans do. So do you have any questions for him?
Is he okay?
They are. And so now I can tell you that he's also around you a lot, right? I feel like you know that though. I feel like you kind of feel him in his energy. Does that make sense for you? Okay. But they are. So I've never had an animal come through that's like, it sucks over here. It just doesn't happen, right? And it's also why I often have to ask if an animal is alive or dead, because their love and their vibe and their energy is exactly the same, right? Whereas people will come through with regret, or people will be like, well, I really fucked that up, right? Cats and dogs and animals, they don't really have that vibe. So that's why you have to, so when I'm doing animal communication, I have to say, is this pet alive or obviously alive or past? Yes, alive or past. Yeah, so there you go. You're welcome. I had to make sure I give a little disclaimer. I'm gonna add that to my note cards. All right, who else? Camera holder?
My niece.
Your niece? Oh, all right, well, always willing to fail, but immediately, I don't know if this was you as a teenager or if this was her, but I get very dark clothing. I get almost that like kind of goth-ish. I think that, I don't know, I'm an 80s girl, so I think that's, I don't know what they call it now. Youngers? Yeah, what do they call it? You're 30. Jesus, I would have carded you in a heartbeat. Like, you can't drink. But that's how I feel. I feel very resistant. I feel very, and sometimes these get really personal really fast, right? I do feel that even though people around her told her continually, possibly, how much they loved her, for some reason, it didn't seem to sink through into the part that she needed to hear it. Do you understand this about her? Super creative, super silly, stupid, smart.
She was my Janis Joplin.
Oh my word. Super creative, super silly, smart, but for some reason she didn't give herself that credit. Do you understand this?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I can't breathe through the music. No, I'm just kidding. She always, I want to say that she was, I wanted to say she wanted to make you smile, but then I also feel like she was kind of this very serious, very serious. Does this make sense for her?
She how did they say it? She danced to the beat of her own drum.
Oh, okay.
She was her own person.
Okay, cool. I also want to say that her passing, so I do want to say, I don't feel like I necessarily make it past my 20s. Do you understand this?
Mm-hmm.
And I do want to say that I feel regret, and I feel sorry, and I'm sorry. So they will bring through emotion.
I'm sorry.
No. This is what I signed up for. I paid money to do this. They will bring through emotion, just to let you know sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And some mediums will try and turn that off. But she's telling me that she loves that I can feel what you can feel, if that makes sense. Very thoughtful in her own ways. I feel like little gifts or little, I don't know if these are notes or if these are gifts or even just text, but would you understand that she would have given people in her life some things? I don't know if this was like to remember me by or if this was while she was alive.
The only thing the one thing that always passes, if I was on the phone with her mom, she would run through the room and, "Hi, Auntie," and she'd run.
Okay.
She made being an aunt the most wonderful thing I've ever done. Next to being a mom and a grandma.
Yeah.
I cherished our relationship a lot.
You what?
I cherished our relationship
Absolutely.
a lot.
I still feel something written. And so I don't know if this would be gratitude in a journal. I do feel like she wrote.
She did write.
Okay, music and journal and kind of one-liners and just ideas. She had a lot of ideas. I'm not feeling how she passed per se. But when I came to you with the apology, I feel like you understand obviously how she passed. And you can share it if you want to, but you certainly don't have to.
It was suicide.
That's right. Yeah, God damn it. Yes. Okay. So I feel like that was her message, is that I'm trying to get a little more out of her, and she's just, I want to say that she said, number one, she regrets it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Number two, she's very, very sorry. Number three, you already said you're a mom and a grandma, and there's someone who is, you would understand, is about 14 now. I want to say 13 to 15 right now. And this person, I want to say they have brownish hair, and I also want to say they're going through a super hard time. Do you understand this person?
My grandson, but he's 11, but he's hitting puberty right now.
She is so fucking sorry for the example that she just said.
Oh.
And if you could talk to that person before he hits the same bullshit that she let herself believe, because I feel so much love around her.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I don't understand.
She was bullied.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants to leave you knowing that certainly she would do it differently if she could. But she brings up this younger person again and apologizes for the example. And is there a younger sister, or is this a younger cousin, or?
She passed in 2008. My daughter's going through some really bad times right now. My aunt had said that she is watching over her.
Oh.
But the hard time is affecting my grandson.
Yes.
So I see him drifting away into
Yes.
bad, just trouble.
Yes. Yes. That's what she wants to make sure that everyone sees. So whoever it is in your family tree that you need to tell them that, I can cut this out for you, and we'll give them a come to Jesus right here and right here in video.
Right.
Whew. And that's the hard part about mediumship, right? Is the people that pass like that. But definitely, everybody passes kind of before their time, unless you're like over 70, which is getting really close. But especially when they're younger like that. I still feel, so you said 2008, and so it's been obviously a long time, but there's still something written somewhere that was meant for you were meant to see.
She left notes behind, but I don't know what those are now.
Okay. Just know that very likely, obviously I can't prove it, it's not evidence because you haven't seen it, but I feel like there was something in there specifically about how much she loved you and how much your difference you did make to her, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Absolutely. Ma'am?
My grandfather.
Grandfather. Choo choo! Did he love trains? Because he's
No.
completely changing this whole vibe. Then he's just funny. Because he's like, we gotta bring this up in here. We gotta raise this back up. Which actually made her laugh. That was very funny. Okay, sir. I do get distinguished. I do get accomplished. I do get trains. Did he grow up maybe like around? Like, is this a Midwest kind of vibe?
Midwest, yeah.
Midwest,
but not
okay,
trains.
well, Midwest and trains. No, it's how the pioneers got here, please. Not the pioneers, the Old West. This is how Bat Masterson went from town to town to be a bartender. So I do get accomplished. I do get pretty well put together. I do get effective. I also get a very sharp tongue. Would you understand this? I don't know if you would know that about him, but he could kind of cut people down to quick, pretty fast. Sometimes grandkids didn't necessarily get to see that. This would be your 50-50 chance, right? I do feel like this is kind of your mom's dad.
I feel like you're explaining my dad's dad.
Oh, I could be. Okay. Yeah, 50-50. So err on the side of caution. So let me keep going with him. So I get a very much of a work vibe. I get very much of a, I'm not coming in until kind of the, like, up with the sun and not until the sun goes down. Does this make sense for him? Okay. I get again with the hands. So this would have been fixing things. This would have been, I fix my own stuff. Like I don't call to town to get somebody to come fix my stuff. I fix my own stuff. Does this make sense for him? We did say Midwest, so I do get kind of a rural vibe, but I don't feel like he was a farmer.
He grew up on a farm.
Damn it!
But he wasn't a farmer, no.
Oh,
But he
okay,
was
good.
a farmer after, yeah. Yeah.
This is gonna take some fancy editing. Because I get like that farm vibe, but not, okay, so he wasn't a farmer. I also get very good with money. Would you understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Like I know where to put it, what to do with it. I do think that, so the grandmother in this situation, I do feel like there was one marriage and that they were together like kind of forever, if you will. I do feel like he went first. Would you know? Okay.
Yep.
Would you understand you're in a marriage?
No.
You're not. Would you understand that you used to be in a marriage?
No.
You've never been in a marriage?
No.
He's bringing forward a guy who is a very attractive guy, very educated guy. This guy almost, I want to say, is a teacher or a professor, and I don't know, so I don't know where to place this guy, but he's in your life. Would that make any sense to you at all? It could be masculine, female, but this person is very smart. They're very savvy, they're very smart, they're in your life, or they're coming into your life, which is always, that's our out. You don't recognize this person, you don't have a brother, you don't have somebody that's like age like 5 up or 5 down.
That's smart.
That was the deal breaker. Because this person feels very like savvy. right? Like I know what to do and when to do it, and kind of this in other words, his grandfather's vibe is kind of in this person, but I felt like it was a relationship.
Okay.
No?
What do you think? I'll have to think on it.
Yeah, no worries. But anyways, do you have any questions for your grandfather? Because that was going to be his message. So if you don't know who this person is, I don't know what, I'm not sure where to go. Yeah, because he was bringing this person up. Well, let me ask him why are you bringing him up then? He's laughing because he says, your mom is still alive, yes?
Mhm.
Your mom knows. Your mom knows who this person is. So I don't know if it's a cousin, a brother, a lover, I don't know. But your mom would know or kind of recognize this person in your life. I feel very studious. I feel very put together. Did you lose an uncle? Would you know if there's an uncle on the other side?
On my mom's side?
Yeah?
Yeah, I lost an uncle, yeah.
I think this is your mother's uncle. I don't know why that would be a message for you though,
Okay,
right?
okay. And he was very smart. He was an engineer.
Oh,
Yeah.
but why is it coming up for you? That is interesting. I'm a little perplexed, I'll be honest. But he brought up your mother and he brought up this guy, and so it could be a message for your mom, but go ahead and bring that up with your mom and just say, so-and-so came through. I still felt like it was a relationship for you, so I'm gonna bow out on that. I'm not sure what to say. Yeah, yeah, you're welcome. He's a cool dude. He's a super cool dude. I want to say that you were a bit of a tomboy growing up. Would you understand that?
No.
Do you understand? Was your mother a tomboy? Because I'm feeling fishing, I'm feeling dirt bikes, I'm feeling
no.
dogs. Oh no! She's like, no. My mom doesn't get dirty. Thank you. I feel like there's a female. So we have grandpa, and then we have a female. And if it isn't you, it would have been someone in that realm because it's a very tomboy feeling. If it doesn't make sense to you, I'm not sure where to go with this. I'm not sure if he's just giving me rando stuff at this point because he's trying to get his point across.
I'll have to think about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And ask your mom.
Okay.
She may understand that better.
Thank you.
Sorry, that one wasn't
No,
quite as
thank you. Thank you.
absolutely.
Maria.
Maria. I feel like this is a trick one, and this is an older woman. Is this okay? Because you're all young-ish, right? Younger than me. So I want to sit up straighter. I want to have manners, and I don't think that I'll be allowed to cuss through this one. Would you understand that? Yeah. And by the way, I'm sitting properly, so that's nice. I do feel like put your knees together. So I feel someone who aged very well as well. Do you understand that? Like, as far as she was a little bit vain because she was a good-looking younger person. Does this make sense to you? And then she aged, like she took care of herself. Does this make sense for her?
Yeah.
I don't feel like she was that old. I want to say she would have passed in her late 60s. Would you understand that?
She's definitely a bit older.
A little bit older? Okay. Did she look younger?
She definitely did look.
Yeah, because she was pretty. She's like, hello. I looked good. She kept herself put together, and she took pride in how she looked and everything like that. I feel like her love language, I don't feel like she's very tall. She's not, okay, short, all right. She's like, you are huge. I'm 5'9", so I feel like she was like, maybe 4'9". I do feel like my love language, though, is fixing everything. She's a good listener. She would have been a good fixer. I do feel like some people call this a busybody, but she was coming at it from a really nice, does this make sense? Like she was a little bit in everybody's business, but only because she wanted to help. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I also do feel, I feel like you have kind of a lot of extended family, and that sometimes life would have been chaotic as a younger person.
Yeah.
Do you understand that? And then your mother's still alive?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is this her mom?
No.
It is a grandma?
It's a grandma, dad's side.
Dad's side, okay. But dad is still alive too, yes?
Yes.
Okay. I want to say that she had them when she was fairly young, and so they're actually getting up there now as well. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then she just keeps, oh fine, food, and more food. She just keeps bringing in food and making food, and like this is her love language, is feeding people. Very good with her. She'd talk with her hands, she'd make food with her hands, she'd smack you with her hands. I was like, damn, just nice little backhand there. I don't feel like it was a real one, you know. Well, some of them were real, but not real hard. You know what I'm saying? I feel funny, but that wasn't her intent sometimes. Like, I feel like people laughed, and she's like, that wasn't even funny. Does this make sense?
Yeah, she was pretty serious.
Okay. But like, yeah, and so people would take it one way, and she was like, I'm not, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get a message. Are you supposed to be in school and you keep putting it off?
No, I'm in school.
You are in school,
Yeah.
because the message is about school. So I'm trying to, because she's doing this. There's something you should be doing that you're not necessarily doing, and she's like, you better get with it. Does this make sense to you?
No, I don't think so. I'm graduating really soon, so.
Oh, maybe that's it. I don't know, I keep doing this. Like, I'm like, just school is what she's bringing me, so probably just proud of you then.
Yeah.
Or she's saying there's something you're supposed to be doing. So, I don't know, cross your T's and dot your I's, make sure your cap is ordered and your gown is ordered, and,
That's funny because I actually do have to order my cap now.
oh.
Today. it's the deadline is today.
Did we get that?
Yes, we did.
That's what she's, yeah. And then, you said this is your dad's mom?
Yeah.
Because there's a relationship between this grandma and your mother that I feel like was very loving, and there was a bond, if you
Yeah.
will. Does this make sense?
It's funny because when you mentioned food, my grandmother used to love my mom's cooking. Like, she was a big fan of my mom's cooking.
Okay.
And always like complimented her cooking, so I don't know if it's because of that.
Yeah, and then for her to bring up the relationship, yeah, absolutely. So it's just kind of tying those two pieces together, kind of as evidence, right? And she also wants you to tell your mom hi, right? I feel like your mom is a little superstitious. Would you understand that?
Yeah, she is.
Okay, maybe don't tell her. So I was talking to grandma. But she's a dog. She's kind of a spitfire, right? So there you go. Don't forget to order your coffee now.
I know.
You're welcome.
I have an animal energy.
Okay.
His name is Tucker.
And he's passed?
He's passed.
Is this a dog? Okay.
Did she say Tucker?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Guess what my dog's name is?
What,
Tuck.
Tucker? Oh, I love
Yeah.
that.
Well,
yeah.
Tuck. But my son calls him Tucker. I'm like, that's not his name. So I do get like obvious, well, I shouldn't say obviously, but he comes through kind of like my dog's energy right now. So I'm like, you know, all over the place, like parkour. I'm chasing balls. I'm bringing him back. I'm chasing him. I'm bringing him back. I'm chasing him. I'm bringing him back. You're like, fuck, take a break. Does this, okay. Is this a cow dog mix or a cow dog?
A cow dog?
Cattle dog. she means.
Cattle dog. Oh, no.
Well, I said cow dog, but yeah.
No, he is
So border collie, it's not a border collie. What kind of dog is it?
he's a Maltese.
That is a big difference.
He comes through with a lot. This was a Maltese.
Yeah,
He comes through like this big ass dog.
that makes sense too.
Okay, all right. He's like, ooh, yeah. Also, that he feels like a cow dog, and so cow dogs never stop with the energy. They'll basically run themselves into the ground. I also feel your mom, and so would you have had this dog, and they would have known each other, and they would have enjoyed each other, and then your mother is still alive, and but you don't live with her anymore. Is there a distance? So what happens sometimes with energy is I bring in stuff that hurts your feelings, so I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. But this dog is fucking hilarious. Yes. And I feel like you thought there was gonna be some more time, you know, with this, because you're like, oh, small dogs live forever. And he didn't, right? I do feel like he passed. I wanna say you guys had a pretty good run. I wanna say around 9, 10.
He was 13, but I got him when he was only 11. So.
Oh, okay. So a very short time. All right.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up that you got him as an adult dog because this dog is just going like 90 to nothing.
Yeah.
So this 11-year-old dog's like, hey.
He had puppy energy and
Yeah.
he was gone. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then I feel like also mama's boy, right? But he was proud of it. This one's like, he was very proud of it. And there's something that you'll understand that he helped you through, and I want to say this was around 3 years. How long has he been gone? Has it been?
He passed in October 2021.
So if you go from there and then go 3 years back, there was something that this dog really, really was just your everything.
Yeah.
Does this make sense to you? They're with us a lot. So even grandma, even cats, even dogs, their energy stays with us, right? And so when you reach out to him, you are really reaching out to him, and he is really responding. And so I know you think you're a little bit crazy, you know, because you're having conversations and you're like, I'm arguing with a dog that isn't here. So, do you understand that?
Yeah.
So just know that he's still around you. And again, dogs don't necessarily give messages other than the whole thing. So good luck with that. Do you have anything to ask him?
I guess not necessarily. I had a theory because he was such a great dog that in the 11 years that he lived before that he like had been passed down because of like a death of his like previous owner. And I had always wondered if there was like a reunion or something between that, because he was such an amazing dog. I'm like,
I
at
see what you
11
mean.
years, I'm like, who
I
would
see.
give this dog up? You know?
Right.
Yeah.
I hate to burst your bubble. I feel the opposite.
Okay.
I feel that he tried and tried and tried and tried and tried. And that these people were those callous people that like take old dogs to the pound.
Yeah.
But you'd have never had him if they
Yeah.
weren't dickheads.
Well, I can give him the life he deserves.
So is he. So is he. So, yeah, he's just cool. I don't feel, well, I said this with you too, and I was wrong, but I don't feel any animals around you right now.
I have a bunny now. Well, I've had him for 8 years now, so.
You had a bunny for 8 years?
Yeah, he's been up there.
I didn't even think they lived that long.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to bone up on bunnies.
Yeah. He's a
All
great
right.
dude too.
Yeah?
Mars.
Yeah? Litter trained, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
I thought they had a 2 to 3 year lifespan.
No, he's been kicking it. He's still happy and hoppy.
There's probably some human in a bunny body like, I'm living now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. A dog, Cheyenne.
Okay, let's just get the breed out of the way.
She was a golden retriever, black lab mix.
Okay. So, I normally don't do animals up here, so I'm gonna do my best, okay? So I feel kids around this dog, and then I also feel that this dog early on, I do feel like you've had this dog, like the lifespan. Would you understand that?
No.
Okay, because early on, do you know where the dog came from?
Yeah.
Because I just feel like I'm pushing kids over. I feel like I'm too rambunctious, and I'm like clumsy, and I'm like, oh, sorry.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Does this make sense for this dog?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I'm not sure how it got to you, but I do feel like you also had a pretty good, kind of like over here, which was only 2 years, sorry. I feel like you had a pretty good run with this dog.
No.
Also, no.
We got her like when she
Today's
was a
a
year
puppy.
old,
Opposite
and
day.
then we only had her for like a couple years.
Yeah.
All right, so it was kind of similar to this over here, because
She was young.
but I feel old soul. So would you look at this dog, would you just feel like this dog knew a ton of stuff? Does this make sense?
Yeah. She knew her better than me. It was when
Oh.
I was littler.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I feel clumsy, but yet I feel smart. If
Yeah.
you could do the same in one body, and I feel protective, but I also feel incredibly lovable. And then I do feel like the dogs that'll go from door to door to door during the night, and you're like, go to sleep. Does this make sense for this dog?
Yeah, she was restless. Yeah.
Okay, no, she wasn't. She was guarding the house, man.
Oh, okay.
There could have been a new killer that just entered,
Yeah.
and she had to go from, like, she just kind of moved around a lot. I do think, again with the kids, she keeps bringing in small kids, so I'm not sure how to,
Well,
Me and my brother were both pretty young.
yeah.
oh, small kids.
Yeah.
You look so big now, sorry. Yeah, just one of those lovable, family dogs, do you know, just kind of that vibe.
Yeah, she just disappeared though.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
that was the question I was wondering.
Yeah.
She disappeared one day. Never came back.
And we don't have neighbors where we live. And so we just have always wondered what happened to her.
Yeah, wow, I don't, that might be a tough one. If you don't have neighbors where you live, then do you understand, just random pickup trucks though? I see pickup trucks going by your house,
I always wondered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
picked up,
I think somebody took
Yep.
her.
picked up, yeah. Well, she was pretty,
Yeah.
and she was
I-
friendly,
Yeah.
and she'd have gotten in the car for, you know,
Yeah.
a little pup cup or something, like it didn't take much, right? She was easy. Yeah, so she just shows me a pickup truck, so
Yeah.
unfortunately, yeah.
Did she have a good life?
You know what's funny? I feel, did I already say old man in this thing? Cause I feel an old man in this pickup truck. I feel like this old man wanted a dog, but I don't feel fully put together. So I don't feel like the mental capacity, but I do feel good life. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Like, well, I need a dog, and this dog happens to be wandering around. I actually feel like he called her too, if that
Okay,
makes sense.
Yeah.
So a bit of a dickhead, but I do feel like the dog had a good life.
Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Good.
Sir?
I don't know.
Are you just trying to come in from the weather?
How about Wallace? Wallace?
Wallace? Okay, now is this an animal or a person?
Person?
This is a person. Okay. Wallace. Do you know Wallace? Cause
Yeah.
okay, the way we do it, right, is evidence. So I want to because I feel a little confused again. I feel like we almost segued, and I feel a little confused and a little disjointed. Would you understand that this person would have kind of struggled with depression and kind of melancholy, or how he thought?
Yeah. He didn't like some of the things because one of his daughters started saying about him.
Okay, so this is an older person then, you would know.
Yeah.
Okay, so as they get older, sometimes those disjointed, those thoughts get disjointed, and then they kind of, because I feel a little bit confused. So would you understand that in the later years, there would have been illness and confusion?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm not seeing a relationship. I do want to say, no, I won't go there. I'm not seeing a relationship. You can tell me if you'd like to, but you don't have to. I do see someone who had a fairly, I want to say he would have been at least in his 70s before he passed. Would you understand that?
Yeah, he was 81.
81, okay, cool. Because I do feel like he felt like I had a good run, and he kind of was that grateful type of a personality, like, no, that's fine, that's good. He was kind of a mellow person for most of his life. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I do feel like he says I should have done more stuff. I should have done more stuff. Like, I don't feel a big traveler. I don't feel a big. He wasn't a big risk taker. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, and so I feel like you also are kind of questioning some of the things that you would like to do, but you don't go do. Do you understand this? Like a trip. Like you want to get out and do more things, but you kind of hold yourself back a little bit. Do you understand this?
Yeah, I'm just a little stuck right now.
You're what?
I'm a little stuck. I'm just
Stuck.
stationary or stagnant.
Sure.
I don't know how you know.
Yeah, that's kind of, okay. And so he went through those, right? And he kind of went through those loops, if you will, where he kind of got into the ruts. And he's saying, so this is kind of a message that, I'm not understanding who this person is. Can you tell me the relationship?
His name is Wallace Black Elk, and he was a Lakota spiritual leader live in Denver on Brighton Boulevard.
Okay, so this is not a relative.
No, but I knew him for 10 years.
Okay, no more. Because where I was going with this is because he felt like a grandfatherly figure, so I wasn't sure if he was actually related to you or not.
Okay.
Huh?
Let's say grandfather.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So it's Sioux language.
Oh, very nice. So this smart, but here's what I feel like he's saying is that you aren't dead yet, and there's things that you want to do, and the only way to do those things is for you to actually go do those things. And I know that sounds like an incredibly simple message, right? But I do feel like he spoke plainly, and he said, like, if you're going to do something, go do it. Does this make sense for his personality?
Probably makes sense. And his, I think he was a little bit regretful. So
Yes.
it
Yes.
kind of coincides with that.
Exactly. Right. And so that is the message for you, is you don't want to get to the other side and be the same way. So there's certain things that you've been thinking about doing, and he wants you to really do them. And I feel travel, so I don't know, but I feel you walking also. But who else was walking? You were walking. I feel like this is almost, is there something like a journey that you were thinking of doing that involves walking?
No, I don't know.
No?
I don't know.
That's okay.
Maybe
No, that's all right.
maybe
But
there's a path that I'm supposed to walk.
well, he just showed me physically, like going and doing something that is like, he just keeps saying a journey, a
Okay.
journey.
Alright.
Yeah, so. All right, well, thank you. Yes, what time is it?
It's almost 7.
Oh. Huh?
8:57 or 7:57.
Okay, cool.
My dad.
Your dad. Contrary to the green hair, I feel like your dad was a bit of a badass. Would you understand that?
Something like that.
Like kind of a F around and find out dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he, if you need someone to help in a fight type of a situation. I also think there was a side to him that certain people got to see, but not everyone got to see. I do feel like he was a loving person. It didn't always come out that way. Does this make sense for him?
Yeah.
I do feel like, yes, sir, you were very handsome. So he did like that he was handsome. I do feel a little bit of, might have even been a bit of a ladies' man, a little bit of a flirt, if that makes sense for him. I do see, I want to say that your parents are divorced. Would you understand that when he
They're
passed?
separated, yeah.
Separated? Okay. And I feel siblings, but I also feel that you're different. Like, I feel like you guys stand alone, if you would.
Step. Sibling.
Oh, step, that makes sense. And stand alone. Okay, that makes sense. I want to say this was not like necessarily quick. I feel an illness, does this make sense, where it lasted a little while?
Yeah.
Okay. And then he hated that. Would you understand? I mean, hated. Like, if he could have took himself out, would have. Okay. Because it wasn't just a pride thing. He really didn't want to be a burden, right? He didn't want to be a burden, but he just didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
He'd been in control of his body for so long, and he was a dude, you know what I mean? He was like, there was a lot of personality in this body, and now what the fuck is somebody's wiping my ass? I can't do this. Does this make sense for him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
So it's a pride, it's a pride thing. Yes, he is very handsome. He brought it up again. He was like, but when I was younger, and I do feel like when he was younger, he was really kind of fit, and he was just a good looking dude. And then I wanted to ask him real quick. Your mom is still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you would understand that the resentment that she held, she kind of got stuck in that loop for a little while. Would you understand that?
Yeah.
He wants to tell her and apologize for that, that he's a dumbass. And he wants her to understand that she was amazing. And he didn't tell her that enough. He may not have told her at all, but he would really love for you to take that message back to her. And he is being thoughtful, and he's like, don't forget to tell everyone else that I said hi. Does this make sense for him as kind of a family dude?
Yeah.
Cool.
One of
Yeah.
the kids, like,
Yeah,
brothers and
yeah.
sisters.
But specifically also your mom, and he's very proud of you. And I don't know what's going on right now, but he says that he's incredibly proud of you for some changes or something that you've decided to do. I don't know what that looks like for
Just
you.
a career change.
Oh, okay, there you go, yeah, he said, good job. Yeah, well, very cool, we're leaving, thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate it, and thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.